Hi, my berries. Today I actually want to talk about a little bit why we may lose periods and is it normal? Especially when you're coming into this detox, cleansing, raw vegan world, then maybe you have heard that women haven't meant to have periods. Yeah, I have heard that definitely. And I have experience from both worlds. I have had no periods and I've had super amazing cycles that I have every month periods the exact same day. And I definitely want to go into it more, what is normal and what isn't normal, and how we can prevent some things and how we can have normal hormonal balance in our life. And I definitely want to look it more in a scientific way. So why humans actually menstruate? Well, every menstrual cycle, our body starts to prepare for the possibility of pregnancy. And the uterine lining actually starts thickening. So the lining that occurs actually starts to nourish and control the embryo. And if no fertilization occurs, then this unused lining breaks, and that's what we call menstruation. The lining breaks and this comes out of us. I want to show you actually a little short video so we can actually understand how this works. So let's look.
As girls get older and their bodies change, they get their periods. The uterus is the part inside the body where a baby grows when a woman is pregnant. The inner lining of the uterus supports and nourishes the developing baby. If there is no baby, the lining is shed during her period. During a period, blood and other tissue from the uterus leave the body through the vagina. A period can last from a few days to about a week. You may have heard doctors talk about the menstrual cycle. This is the time from one period to another, usually at 28 days. Day 1 of the menstrual cycle is the first day of a period. The uterus starts to shed its lining. As soon as the period ends, the uterus prepares again to receive a fertilized egg. Eggs are released from a woman's ovaries. Eggs are super tiny, 1/10 the size of a poppy seed. Women have 2 ovaries, one on each side. The fallopian tubes lead from each ovary to the uterus. In the middle of the menstrual cycle, an ovary releases an egg. After ovulation, the egg travels down the fallopian tube. It takes a few days to complete the journey. Meanwhile, the lining of the uterus gradually gets thicker so it can support the development of a fertilized egg. If the egg gets fertilized, it will implant.
So this is super simplified video, but I actually want to show you. You can see the red lining there. This is the lining I talked about. This is the menstruation. It gets out when there's no fertilization happens, but this is actually the nourishing part when the embryo develops. It gets stuck to the lining and then it starts to feed itself from this lining. And this is very, very important part for the women body, especially when we want to get pregnant. So the embryo would have food. This is the food that we gather the whole month to its lining. But if we don't have the lining, if we don't have periods and we get pregnant, this is also a possibility. It is very rare. And then the embryo can actually get stick to our own cells, and that's not good. That's not good for the women body. The lining is meant to the embryo, and if this is not there, then it goes to your cells. And this is what we don't want to happen. Actually, the menstruation part and the lining is very, very important and natural for the human body.
Uterus and the woman is pregnant. If the egg is not fertilized, the woman is not pregnant, and the egg will begin to dissolve. Because the woman is not pregnant, the lining of the uterus is not needed. A woman will have her monthly period.
Yeah, exactly. When the woman is not pregnant, the lining is not used in any way, then it gets out. This is the menstruation. So let's get back to it. So actually, bleeding is a sign that we are reproductive and it is normal physiology. And it's not detox that most raw vegans, cleansing detox professionals suggest. It's absolutely normal for the human body. And you know, when you're eating ultra clean diet, like fruit-based diet, frugivore diet, then it shouldn't eliminate healthy cycles. And you know, periods depends on hormones, not dietary toxins. And our closest relatives, chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, bleed monthly as well. But they bleed more lightly because they eat their species-specific diet every day. Most people do not eat their species-specific diet. And that's why we can have very painful bleeding and so on. So actually monkeys have a little bit longer cycle. It was like 37, 38 days. And we have like 10 days less. So we absolutely do not have the exact same cycles. So we shouldn't compare ourselves exactly with monkeys, but we have some similarities, and they bleed more lightly as we humans do. And I think this is mostly related to our food, what we are consuming. But even when monkeys bleed, then why shouldn't we? Because they still eat their natural diet and they still bleed. And why often the menstruation actually stops? Well, the normal physiological aspects would be you're pregnant, you're maybe breastfeeding, and maybe you are near to menopause or you are already in the menopause. And the abnormal side effects can be hormonal contraceptions, pills, implants, and there can be optional withdrawals as well, like acne flare-ups, bleeding, and so on. And then there can be functional hypothalamic amenorrhea, and actually this can come from energy deficit or stress or overexercise, which leads to low estrogen. And the third one, there can actually be other diseases that look into in more detail by medical approach, absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit this amenorrhea, which comes basically from energy scarcity, which leads to no period. When energy is scarce, reproduction is expandable. And the main reason why girls lose their periods, well, a lot of girls actually restrict their calories, and there comes rapid weight loss, which leads to low estrogen levels. And this was actually exactly what happened to me. I was very, very much under eating, and I lost my periods completely. My hormones was mess. And when I actually came to this lifestyle, fruit-based lifestyle, raw vegan lifestyle, which actually seemed very, very right way to go, I actually started hearing from people that we shouldn't have periods. And that kind of triggered a little bit something in me, because I didn't already had normal periods. And I actually wanted to have normal periods once in my life. And then I, heard that we shouldn't have periods. And I really, wanted to look into it more deeply. And now I hear more and more how people tell that normal women shouldn't have periods. And many, many girls actually come to me without periods. But what I see the most in this lifestyle is that people are not eating enough, especially girls. We are not eating enough. We want to be slim and we want to restrict. We want to still be healthy, but we still fear calories, and that leads to different hormonal imbalances, including period loss in our life as well. And actually, when I was raw vegan, when I was fruit-based, I am fruit-based right now as well, I've never had no periods. My periods have had better than ever. I still have very good normal cycle, and I have light bleeding, but every month I have bleeding. I have like 3 to 4 days normal bleeding. Sometimes I have little heavier because maybe I have eaten more cooked food, and I definitely feel that when I am raw, when I eat like low fat raw, then definitely it is more lighter and it is very, very nice to have it without complications. But when I was younger, I used to have like 7 days periods, like I had fever and I was so tired. It just took all of me. And that's when I thought this isn't normal. And I absolutely agree with right now as well, that people who experience very, very heavy bleeding, very, very painful bleeding, we should consider changing a little bit our diet, because this has helped me to get normal cycles, very, very normal bleeding. When I had the very, very heavy bleeding, I wasn't eating good at all. I didn't eat any fruits, veggies. I was very, very concentrated on dry and processed foods, definitely. What is the second thing is people train too much, heavy endurance, and not enough fuel. This is the main thing, as I saw as well. We restrict and we train too much, especially women. And the third one, psychological stress, trauma, illness, this all occurs in our body as well, which, our body prioritizes all the other things, stress, trauma, illness, we are just conserving our energy and we just don't put enough energy to our reproductive health. So how common is the amenorrhea? The research actually says that 35% of cases when women doesn't have periods is actually caused by energy deficit. 35% of cases. This is very, very interesting. And also young athletes who have reported amenorrhea, which actually means they don't have period, almost 50% of these cases are due to energy deficit. And actually very interesting Vienna research where women actually were referred PCOS were actually diagnosed with amenorrhea, about 37% of them. So we can see that many of the cases actually come up to energy deficit, calorie restriction, most of the women. So actually, what happens when we have low estrogen and we don't have periods? There is definitely side effects that can happen in our body. And the first thing is definitely our bone health. Actually, the bone mineral density can decrease, and that leads to stress fractures, early osteoporosis, and so on. Cardiovascular and metabolic risk markers. We can also experience hot flashes, vaginal dryness, low libido, and absolutely mood changes, anxiety, sleep disturbance. I think what I felt the most, I didn't have any libido. I didn't want to have I just didn't have any mood for it, and my sleep was so disturbed, my mood was all over the place, my bones were actually super weak. I broke my nose and I broke my toes at that time where I didn't have periods. Actually, I've never broken any bones. I've always had like super good health and bones, but at that time actually it was regarding to energy deficit, hormonal imbalance, bone health was a mess. So I have experienced that part, and I don't think it's no way healthy for a healthy woman. So how we can actually get our cycles back to normal? So the first thing that I always say that we need to eat more energy dense foods, and we need to add up to 300-600 calories in a day. I even suggest more in my protocols where we are eating more our species specific diet. But definitely if you're eating conventional diet and you don't have cycles and you may feel that you are restricting your calories, please try to upgrade it. Try to add 300 to 600 calories at least. If you feel you want more, please eat more. I'm all about we shouldn't limit our calories, but we should concentrate on more real food and calories, whole foods. And that's how, we can actually get to our food freedom as well, that we are not restricting, we are not messing with our hormones, we are just living abundantly and eating abundantly. Yeah. When I say upgrade your calories, I don't mean proteins and fats. Please prioritize including more carbs into your diet. Whole fruits, veggies, starches, whatever you like, what your body truly needs, what your body runs on. So please prioritize carbs in your diet. It has helped me a lot. And it has helped a lot of girls who I work with as well. So, and the third one, please train less. And actually this is so important in that stage where when you are missing your period, you need to set back on trainings. Less than 5 hours in a week, but I would say even less. Just, your body starts to put the energy on the right places and starts to actually rebuild your body, and we need that. So if we train excessively, it creates another stress in our body and we take out the energy that the body actually needs, especially in these moments where our hormones are unbalanced and we need to reset the things. Training is so good. I will always recommend to train, but in these periods we need to kind of set back and rest, meditate, breathe, do all the things that we finally start to align with our body again. And even the 5 hours in a week, I mean yoga, walking, light movement, just like dancing, just feeling good, not like super hard heat trainings, super hard weight training. This is super good, don't get me wrong, but we can slowly start to increase it after we have dealt with our hormones. Yeah, and definitely address stress. That's why I talked about let's skip out the very stressful trainings and take out the stress. And be more mindfulness, journal, write down your feelings. How do you feel? What do you want to eat today? What your body needs today? Maybe you need more sleep, maybe you need more breathing, maybe you need more walking, maybe you need more cuddles. Just start to appreciate your body, hug yourself, and really think, what do we need to be healthy? And when you have done all of these things, then the cycles can return within 3 to 9 months. When I have worked with girls who don't have periods, most of them have their periods already in a couple of weeks, a month, about so, but we really, increase our calories to the right foods, and I'm all about stabilizing our hormones as quickly as we can. But yeah, it can take time. Everyone is different. Our body needs to adjust to new ways, and it can take some time. But if they are not coming back, then medical attention is very, very needed. So I definitely recommend you to visit a doctor. There can be some more serious issues going on. So how to actually have normal periods without pain, without all the mess that goes around periods? What has helped me? When I started to eat fruit-based diet, high carb, low fat, whole food plants, I actually started having very, very light periods without much pain. I have some pain, and definitely when I eat more cooked food, I will have some of the symptoms, and it is normal. When I'm eating more my species-specific diet, then definitely the periods are much more lighter. But I want to still keep it real. We need to live this life sustainably, long-term. What is normal in this society? And absolutely, we need to adjust ourselves with our surroundings and the environment as well. So already when you're increasing your fruits, carbs, and you're keeping the fats low, you're already starting to see so many changes. And also it's so important to have vitamin D, vitamin B, magnesium, calcium. And when you're eating this nutritious food, then it is covered, but you need to eat abundantly. You need to not restrict yourselves. And definitely take D vitamin supplements if needed, B12 supplement if needed. And yeah, I don't really recommend calcium or magnesium supplement. So definitely just concentrate more on the fruits, whole starches, whole foods, but eating normal amounts abundantly. That's how you get all the vitamins, minerals, and they can actually absorb in your body as well. And also movement is important, but as I said, when you don't have periods, just do things that is really, really good for you. But I still recommend to move your body like 30 minutes a day, moderate walking, yoga, whatever you feel like doing. And absolutely limit the stimulants like caffeine, alcohol, or ultra-processed salty sugary snacks. They all affect your hormonal balance. They all affect how much energy your body needs to process them. We don't need another nervous system stimulants in our body. So definitely take out these things. You don't need them. You need adequate amount of calories to feel energized, to feel happy, to feel good, to stabilize your hormones. So definitely just take out these and get your sleep back. Maybe you have had caffeine, alcohol, processed foods that disrupts your sleep. Take out these and start to eat more, and you slowly see that you want to sleep more, you have better sleep, you actually get your 7 to 9 hours in. And yeah, this was our class today. I hope it really helped you. But I also want to remind you, if you're struggling with menstruation or you're struggling with your eating, then I absolutely have help for you. I created my Rawberries membership just to help women like me who have the same issues, who are struggling, and we can come together and we can actually share, get advice, get help, get inspiration what to eat, how to do this lifestyle. I have different raw vegan recipes up here that I have created throughout the years. And I have different breakfast and lunch options, juices, smoothies, fruit breakfast. Very, very nice. And I also have actually very, very tasty low-fat cooked plant-based dinners as well here. And I really, really recommend you to try out this high raw-based lifestyle, which is very, very abundant, carb-based. And I really, really encourage you to eat until you're satisfied. And I have a resources section as well, where I'm always, putting up all the knowledge I know, why adding sugar can actually be beneficial. I'm talking about my metabolic adaptation, why I may gain weight in this lifestyle and why I leaned down eventually. This was me before. And you can see after picture as well there, why hair shedding can happen, how a high carb, low fat diet, supports longevity. So I have a lot of helpful resources, which is backed with science. And I'm always, diving very, very deep into the topics that I want you to know and understand. And it's absolutely important to know these things in this lifestyle and in overall your life, to know how our body actually works. I think this is the biggest richness in life, when you actually know what your body wants and how to treat your body the right way. So invest in yourself. I also have some raw sweets here, cakes, cookies, so nice. And I have also different sauces to put in your salad, just to dip into it. Very, very nice. And I also have weekly calls where I'm answering all of your questions. I'm giving you support, what you need. We go into your diet, your lifestyle, what we need to change, how we can overcome the issues you're dealing with. And yeah, I'm just there 24/7 to support you. So if you're feeling you want to join, absolutely, you are welcome, and I would love to see you there. And I also have a discount right now, minus 50% off, and it's 30 days, only $9. Just come and try and see it yourself if it helps you or not. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video and maybe what topic you would like to know more. Bye!